Good morning students, welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. In the previous video, we have read about the formal and informal sources of credit. In the discussion, we found that it is the rich households who are availing cheap credit from formal sources, whereas the poor households are still dependent on informal sources of credit. Today, we will first discuss why the poor households are still dependent on informal sources of credit, and then we will read about self-help groups. Let's start with the first question. Why the poor households are still dependent on informal sources of credit? First of all, banks are not present everywhere in rural India. There is a serious shortage of banking system in rural areas. Secondly, even if they were present, getting a loan from a bank is much more difficult than taking a loan from informal sources. The problem with formal banking system is that some kind of collateral is required. The rural poor in need of urgent credit don't generally possess any collateral. Consequently, they are ruled out of the formal banking system. On the other hand, informal sources such as money lenders know the borrowers personally and hence give the loan without collateral. We know that the money lenders charge very high rate of interest and even harass the poor borrowers. Yet they approach him. Why? Because sometimes, if necessary, the borrower gets a loan from the money lender even without repaying their earlier loans. I hope you can answer the question now why the poor households are still dependent on informal sources of credit. To help such kind of people, self-help groups emerged on the scene. They are successfully bridging the gap between the formal credit system and rural poor. Let us now see the self-help group. A self-help group is an association of poor people, especially women, who belong to the same social and economic background. They pool their savings and manage their credit needs. What are the objectives of self-help group? The objective of the self-help group is to organize rural poor, especially women, and to inculcate saving and banking habits among members. How it works? A typical self-help group has 15 to 20 members, usually belonging to the same neighborhood. Members of the group meet regularly and make their share of contribution. Saving per member varies from rupees 25 to 100 or more, depending on the ability of the people to save. Members can take small loans from the group itself to meet their needs. The group charges interest on these loans, but this is very less than what the moneylender charges. The loan borrowed from the self-help groups are collateral free, and the peer pressure of the group ensures that timely repayment of the loan happens. One important feature of this group is that most of the important decisions regarding the saving and the loan activities are taken by the group members themselves. The group decides the amount of loan to be granted, interest to be charged, and the repayment schedule, etc. After a year or two, if the group is regular in saving, it becomes eligible for availing loan from the bank. A self-help group must maintain ledger or register regarding the attendance of the members, its savings, credits disbursed, repayments, and minutes of the meetings. This helps them in easy opening of the saving bank account in the name of the self-help group in the banks. Loan is sanctioned in the name of the group and is meant to create self-employment opportunities for the members. For instance, small loans are provided to the members for meeting working capital needs like buying seeds, raw materials like bamboo and cloth, for acquiring assets like sewing machine, handlooms, cattle, etc. Thus, the self-help group helped borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral. They can get timely loans for a variety of purposes and at a reasonable rate of interest. The self-help group are the building blocks of organization of the rural poor. Not only does it help women to become self-reliant, the regular meeting of the group provide a platform to discuss and act on a variety of social issues such as health, nutrition, domestic violence, etc. Let us now see about the Grameen Bank of Bangladesh. It is one of the biggest success story in reaching the poor to meet their credit needs at reasonable rates. The founder of Grameen Bank is Professor Muhammad Yunus. He is the recipient of Nobel Peace Prize of 2006. You can read the box yourself. Before I close the lesson, let's have a quick recap. Money acts as an intermediate in the exchange process, hence a medium of exchange. Credit is an important instrument for rural development. Most of the agricultural costs still depend on credit, but this credit must be cheap and affordable. The credit arrangements are not fair for all sections of society. The share of formal sector is higher for the rich households as compared to the poorer households. It is necessary that banks and cooperatives increase their lending in the rural areas so that the dependence on informal sector, informal sources of credit reduces. Let's now see the probable questions from the topic covered today. Why the poor households are still dependent on informal sources of credit? 2. What is the basic idea behind the self-help groups for the poor? Explain in your own words. Self-help groups are the building blocks of organization of the rural poor. Support this statement with examples. This is a board question of 5 marks which has come in 2020. With this, students, we finished the lesson Money and Credit. I hope you have understood the lesson properly. In the next class, we will meet with a new lesson. Till then, have a nice time. Thank you.